In this video, I will be answering how hard it is to become a Minecraft speedrunner. But first, if you could subscribe, it's free and you can always change your mind later. Now before I say how hard it is to become a speedrunner, we decide exactly what speedrunning is. Speedrunning is the act of playing a game with the sole purpose to beat it as quickly as possible. This does not mean you have to beat the world record, so for the purpose of this video, we'll be considering anything beating Minecraft in under an hour as a speedrun, since that will put you in the top 750 runs according to speedrun.com. Now, to answer this as good as I can, I've broken it down into 3 basic categories, and the first category I've broken it down into is knowledge of the game. This one should be pretty self-explanatory. If you don't know much about the game, you're not going to be able to beat it super quickly. You have to know the downfalls that the players are going to fall into. For example, if you went to try and do a Minecraft speedrun today, and you went hunting for Endermen to get your Ender Pearls, you would add a lot of time to your run because there are faster ways to do it now. The question is, what do you need to know? And the simple answer is if there are any shortcuts. For example, Piglin Trades. This currently is the fastest way to get Ender Pearls. Now, people may argue it's not a shortcut because it's part of the game, but considering how long it would take to hunt Enderman instead, it does take off a lot of time in this area, thereby, by definition, making it a shortcut. So, other things you may need to consider are what the best weapons in the game are at the time. For example, if you're playing 1.8 or before, a sword is probably your best choice, whereas if you're playing 1.10 and up, an axe is the best weapon because of the damage it deals. Another thing to consider is how to kill the Ender Dragon the fastest, because if you can take a fight that would take a couple minutes and shave it down into a minute and under, you're going to save yourself a lot of time. For example, in the newest games, I know that you can kill the dragon in one cycle. If you didn't have that knowledge, it might take you 2 or 3 minutes, and it's going to take you a minute with this strategy. That's going to save you time. Another thing you need to consider is your own skill level. If you're not very skilled, you might need better armor, you might need to use an iron chest plate, or you might need to use a sword because it attacks quicker. This is something that you have to take into consideration, and you'll have to judge yourself, so keep that in mind. Moving on to the next category, skill. This category typically comes as a result of knowing the game really well, because really all it is the application of your knowledge. Can you use those shortcuts to your advantage? Can you cut time off your run by not making stupid decisions? These are the important questions you need to ask. There are of course always things like combat skill and your movement ability that aren't bound by knowledge, but these can all be practiced with relative ease. The most important skills to practice are fighting mobs, your movement around terrain, and your nether portal making. Fighting mobs is probably the easiest to practice, as you can just find another fortress and practice fighting blazes, which are typically considered the hardest necessary mob to beat in a speedrun. To practice your movement, you can simply just play the game like normal and challenge yourself every once in a while. Try to move around the terrain as fast as you can, and this will improve your movement tremendously. The last one, probably the most boring, because it's something you just have to do over and over again, is making another portal. All you have to do is give yourself a water bucket, a lava bucket, and some blocks in creative, and you can just practice making it as quick as you can. If you can cut it down from a minute to 15 seconds, this would help your time a good bit since you're cutting off so much time. The last category is probably the most frustrating one for players just starting out with speedrunning, and that is luck. This is probably the reason that even some of the most skilled players in Minecraft don't speedrun, as it can be based on luck who's really good and who's really bad. The most unskilled player can get the luckiest seed and have a successful speedrun, and the other way around, the most skilled player could have the worst of luck and fail miserably. Things that can make or break your speedrun typically are blaze drops, piglin trades, and the terrain that you're given. The blaze drops are probably the least problematic, as all you have to do is kill enough blazes to get enough blaze rods, so if you don't kill enough, then just kill more. Piglin trades are definitely more irritating because if you don't get the ender pearls that you're looking for, you have to go mine more gold and trade again, which takes quite a lot of time and can add a lot of time to your run. The thing that can completely determine your run though is your seed. You could have so many things go wrong, like you might not be able to find lava and get to the nether quickly. You might be in a mountainous terrain and not be able to move around very easily. Now, on the other hand, you could also get really lucky and get a village right by spawn, giving you free food and free iron. The reason that this is so frustrating though is because the best speedrunners account for this by the massive amount of tries that they do. This allows them to even out luck as much as possible, as they could be unlucky one time and lucky the next. This is the reason Minecraft speedrunning is pretty hard. It's because unlike any other game, it is random. You never know what you're going to be blessed by or cursed with. This makes it unique, so the conclusion is yes, it is very hard to be a Minecraft speedrunner because of the amount of factors that go into it, such as luck, amount of time put into the game, and the amount of knowledge you have to have. I will be answering exactly how hard because I'm attempting to get a successful speedrun, and I will show you in the next video. So if you could subscribe to see that second part, it would mean a lot, and I will see you next time.